For the umpteenth time, an Arizona court has rejected a lawsuit seeking to overturn the state's 2022 midterm elections for governor and attorney general. The court also sanctioned the failed Republican Attorney General candidate Abe Hamadeh and his attorney, Ryan Heath, for bringing a meritless and bad faith lawsuit. Of course, this isn't the first time Arizona election deniers have been sanctioned for frivolous lawsuits. Failed Republican candidates Kari Lake, Mark Finchem, and Abe Hamadeh all filed lawsuits challenging their losses in the 2022 midterm elections for Arizona governor, secretary of state, and attorney general, respectively. Now, all of them have been sanctioned for lying in court filings and bringing baseless, frivolous lawsuits, in addition to all three court levels in Arizona continually rejecting their cases. The Arizona Supreme Court sanctioned Lake in her election contest, saying, "Because Lake's attorney has made false factual statements to the court, we conclude that the extraordinary remedy of a sanction is appropriate." Mark Finchem was ordered to pay over $45,000 for bringing what the court called a groundless lawsuit that was filed in bad faith. Finchem's case was in part premised on the false notion that then Secretary of State Katie Hobbs engaged in misconduct and interfered with his election because she allegedly flagged his Twitter account for misinformation in January of 2021, and then Twitter temporarily suspended Finchem's account. In issuing Finchem's sanctions, the court wrote that Twitter is not an election official, and its decision to temporarily suspend Finchem's Twitter account presents no valid basis for an election challenge under Arizona law. Moreover, even if it could be construed as predicate misconduct for an election contest, Finchem does not explain how the effort to flag his Twitter account in January 2021 affected his election loss over 20 months later. But it gets even more absurd. During a hearing, Mark Finchem's lawyer said he took on the case because they needed somebody to do it, and it doesn't matter if he gets disbarred because he's going to retire soon anyway. You truly can't make this up. Lake and Finchem have also been sanctioned for a separate lawsuit they filed together trying to ban electronic voting machines in Arizona. The lawsuit was dismissed, but the attorneys in the lawsuit were sanctioned for lying in court filings and were ordered to pay over $122,000 in attorney's fees to Maricopa County for bringing this frivolous lawsuit. Now, with the help of MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell, Lake and Finchem have asked the U.S. Supreme Court to review this case. Even after all of the sanctions and courts continually rejecting their cases, Lake and Hamadeh are still in court trying to overturn their losses, even as they run for U.S. Senate and Congress. Across the board, courts are holding attorneys and parties accountable for their efforts to overturn valid election results. Just last week, a California judge recommended that John Eastman, a former Trump attorney and the chief architect in the January 6th insurrection, should be disbarred for his efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. And now the State Bar of California's website shows that John Eastman is no longer eligible to practice law. Not to mention, Eastman is facing criminal indictments alongside Trump and a laundry list of other allies, including Mark Meadows, Jenna Ellis, Sidney Powell, Kenneth Chesebrough, Jeffrey Clark, and Rudy Giuliani, who is currently also facing disbarment, and more. Thanks for watching Democracy Docket. If you want to stay up to date on the latest voting and election news in the courts, make sure to subscribe to our newsletters. You can click the link on the screen or in the description of this video. I'm Sophie, and I'll see you next time.